It's not possible.
I didn't say it would be easy, Neo.
Would the offender please introduce yourself for the record, stating your name and DOC number?
Herman Mitchell, 432677.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Let me explain the process to you. First, I will read information into the record, then the board will conduct a parole interview with you. At the end, you'll be allowed to make a brief statement before the board votes. Do you understand the process, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is the case for Herman Mitchell, DOC number 432677, date of birth July 7, 1968, classified as a first felony offender, offense, forcible rape, sentencing date September 20th, 2000, sentenced to a total of 30 years. Parole date August 1st, 2021, good time July 30th, 2024, full term May 10th, 2029. Is this information correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Marabella.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mitchell, my name is Tony Marabella. Your case was assigned to me, so I'm going to begin this interview process. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mitchell, are you 53 years old? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been in prison on these charges?
23 years, sir.
23 years?
Yes, sir.
How many times have you been convicted? Is this your only conviction?
This is my only one.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your educational background. Did you get your GED?
Yes, sir. I got my GED 2 years after I was incarcerated.
After you got incarcerated, you got your GED? What
Okay,
programs have you taken while you've been in prison?
Programs?
Yes, sir.
I finished AA 12-step substance abuse. I was in alternate violence program, which is an AVP program. I got my GED. I completed the sex offender program. I did, I completed HIV and AIDS awareness program, which I got certified as HIV and AIDS peer counselor through American Red Cross in Philadelphia Center. I completed AANA, stress management, substance abuse, and a variety more. I just so nervous, I just can't remember right now.
Mr. Mitchell, it's my understanding that you've completed all 4 phases of the sex offender program.
Yes, sir.
And it's my understanding that you also facilitate that program. You still work within that program with other people. Is my understanding correct?
Yes, sir.
Tell me what you do tell me what you're currently doing with the sex offender program.
Well, the program, what we ask you to do is that the guys that's in the program, we get with them and we teach them about the things that they need to know as far as when they get out, what they're gonna do, and like certain situations that you're in. Okay, it's like if you place yourself in a certain situation, and it's like you have courses that you go over that you will relate yourself to certain situations. Just say, for instance, if I'm in a situation where I know I do drugs, and drugs have been a part of my crime since I've been incarcerated, you have a course, a subject where it's called mind-altering substances. And what you would do, you would look on the paper and you would actually try to see what type of drugs or what substances that you actually use.
Right.
That would cause
How is that specifically related to sex offender treatment?
Well, it's part of the treatment as far as
If drugs or alcohol were your addiction, that's a part and
Yes,
parcel
sir.
of that?
then we also, it's also a part of the program is try to teach you as far as being in denial.
Okay.
what you did and owning up to your situation.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about what you did do.
Yes,
Back in 1999, whenever it was, tell me what was going on with you and why did you do what you did?
well, sir, back in 99, it was to the point where I did use drugs and alcohol real heavy, every day, all day.
Okay.
I was constantly on drugs and alcohol, but I can't use that as an excuse for what I did, because what I did is what, is, you can't justify that. I sexually assaulted my girlfriend's daughter.
You didn't essentially, you absolutely did. You raped 2 little girls.
Yeah.
I think he said sexually assaulted.
Oh, sexually assaulted. Okay.
Sexually assaulted.
Yes, sir.
So tell me about that. Tell me what you've learned since you've been in prison as it relates to back what you did. Can you come up with any reason why you did that?
Well, sir, the reason that I did that, right today, I still wonder how could I do that, or why did I do that? And it was just something that I should have never did. It's like I'm just regretful for everything that I did do, but I guess it was just, as far as I know from the classes I took, I guess it was just some type of sickness or thing that I just had.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that for a second. In your classes, since you've been in prison, have you come to recognize whatever that sickness or whatever that was that you had?
Yes, sir.
How are we going to prevent that in the future? How can I be comfortable saying, well, I'm ready to let Mr. Mitchell out. I think he's learned his lesson and he's not going to do this again. How can I feel? What can you tell me that'll make me comfortable with that?
Well, first of all, since I've been incarcerated and since I've been in these programs, it done opened my eyes to a lot of things that actually happened to me that, well, can I actually say something to you that I really never
Absolutely. I want you to be as honest as you can, as you want to be, certainly.
Never really said this to no one. I've been holding this in for years, but it probably don't have really nothing to do with this, but back when I was 11, 12 years old, I watched my stepfather sexually abuse both of my sisters. And I never said nothing about it. I never tried to stop it. And I lived with that for years. And today, through the classes that I took and stuff, if I would have known back then what I knew now, I would have stepped up and said something and never let it happen. But like I said, they really don't justify the things that I did. But at the same time, I know better. I learned from that situation and the things that I've been going through since I've been incarcerated, because I know it was wrong. I know without a shadow of a doubt that I would never do things like that again, because I know through the programs and through the stuff that I've been through in prison that I have changed. I have changed my life. I have changed the situation that I've
Let me ask you this, Mr. Mitchell. What while you've been in prison, have you given thought to what effect this has had on the young girls that you did this to?
Yes, sir.
What do you think? What do you think they feel? What do you think they're going through? Just like your two sisters that you talked about a few minutes ago. What do you think a victim, a person who is molested or raped, what do you think a young woman like that goes through?
They're traumatized. They probably never be the same. Their life is just destroyed. It's like the hurt and pain. You could never get that back. It's just something that you done took away from them. They had to live with for the rest of their life.
You've indicated that drugs and alcohol were an issue as well. What have you done in terms of substance abuse while you've been in prison?
So it's like I said, I took the 12 steps, 12 tradition AA NA substance abuse class, and I have been a member of AA NA since 2001. Okay. I'm still in the program as of right today.
Let's assume that you get favorable votes today and you're allowed to get out fairly soon. What is your plan to make sure you stay sober?
Well, I'm actually, if I get out, I'm going to go out there and still take up treatment. I want to get into an AA program while I'm released.
How important is that to you, sobriety?
That's very important. It's very important that I still seek the help that I need regardless of the situation. I don't care if I'm in here or out there in society.
How long do you think you'll have to go to meetings for?
To meetings?
Mm-hmm.
I actually want to go there permanently. I just want to be a member, period. It doesn't matter about how long. I just want, if I go there, I just want to do like I'm doing here, just be a part of it.
Yeah. Well, my question was, how long do you think how long will you have to continue to go to meetings before you get well? Do you think you'll ever get well from being an alcoholic?
I really have, sir. I really do.
I'm sorry?
I really do. I haven't had a drink or did drugs in 23 years, so I look at it and I know it's probably because I'm in the situation that I'm in now, but
I think he's asking you, Herman, how long are you going to attend these meetings when you get out? Are you going to go for 6 months and quit going, or are you going to go for?
No.
For I think that's what he's asking.
Okay. No, it's not a 6 month thing. I'm going to keep
the lifetime thing. Is it fair to say you'll probably have to do it for the rest of your life?
But that's what I want to do.
Okay. All right. Tell me a little bit about your plan to where you're going to be living at.
Well, my mom and both of my sisters have recently been deceased. The only emergency contact that I have out there is my aunt, which her name is Ruthie Hampton. That's the only emergency contact that I have out there right now. Well, I have two aunts, matter of fact.
And you'll have to register as a sex offender. You'll have to find an appropriate place for you to be able to live in that. Do you have something like that in mind? Have you thought about that? Do you have a residential plan that will fit in with the your supervision requirements of registration and being away from parks and schools and such?
Well, I don't know what she had looked off into. She told me that she knew about some places. If I had to go through all that, she said she talked to some people and she knew about some places, but I haven't talked to her since then.
Okay. What kind of work do you hope to do?
When I get out?
Mm-hmm.
Well, before I came incarcerated, I was working for BFI. I was working for Shreveport Regional Recycling Plant.
Okay.
And I did a lot of construction work.
Okay. In addition to your drug courses and your substance abuse, you've been in a lot of programs. You've been in Toastmasters?
Yes, sir.
JCs?
Yes, sir.
Kairos?
Kairos.
What have those things helped you with?
Well, as far as the self-help programs, as far as JCs, see, JCs is like, it's a group that helps you out with being a better person as far as like, it was a young man organization when I first started. You know, I was young back then.
You're still young.
Yeah, but it teaches you how to start your own business and tell you about financial things. See, like we got a creed in the JCs. And that creed, the first part of that creed is that we believe that faith in God give meaning and purpose to human life. And the last part of that creed is that economic justice can best be won by free men through enterprise. And the service to humanity is the best work of life. So that organization there, it taught me a lot as far as just, you know, trying to start your own business, trying to go out there and get a job and try to do better for yourself. Now, Kairos is a religious program where you have people that come off the street, and it's like a 3-day retreat, well, really 4 days.
Right. And how long were you in that program?
Kairos, well, I attended the 4-day retreat, but as of right now, I'm still a part of Kairos. Before this pandemic hit, we used to go over there every Saturday to the chapel and we'd have a meeting. I'm still a part of Kairos. I'm still a part of every self-help organization that you have in front of you. I'm still a part of all them organizations. I never stopped going to them.
My notes reflect that you've had 4 write-ups since you've been in prison 23 years. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
When was the last write-up you had?
I think 2012.
Okay. Warden, what can you tell us about Mr. Mitchell?
Well, I've known Herman since he's been incarcerated, Judge. I've been here. He came here in like 2001, 2002, whenever he got here. I think it was 2001. And I've been here with him the entire time. And he used to have black hair, and I've watched his hair turn white over the years. And he's got a little age on him, but he's been a very positive individual since I've known him. He's been heavily involved in programming. He got his GED when he was here. And those write-ups you're talking about, I don't know if you noticed, but out of those 4 write-ups, 3 of them was in 2012. I think they might have been related maybe to the same incident or right about the same time frame. He is not a person that breaks the rules. He's cooperative with staff, and I found him over the years to be a individual with a lot of truthfulness and integrity about him. He's not a problem offender at all with this institution. And I know he discharged, I think his good time date's 2024. That's just a couple of years away. But the 21 years or so that he's been at this institution, he is, I think he came in the door preparing for the day that he's going to be getting out. And I think he's worked hard for the release date, whether it comes from the parole board or whether it's his good time date in 2024. I think he's made a very strong effort to prepare himself for re-entering society and doing what's right and staying out of prison the rest of his life. He is a first offender. This is, I think, the only felony that he's ever been convicted of. And I think, like I said, the entire time he's been here, he's been working on making sure that when he does get out that he doesn't come back. He's a very positive individual.
Great. Thank you, Warden. Thank you for those very positive comments. Mr. Mitchell, thank you. I've enjoyed my conversation with you. Mr. Chairman, that's all the questions I have.
Yes, sir. I see there's no visitors here today. Is there anything you'd like to say to the board there, Mr. Mitchell, before we vote?
Yes, sir. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on a part of the board, because I didn't even have a parole date. And with this new law that came up, they gave me this date. And everything I did for the 23 years I've been incarcerated,
Just in there?
I did it for the betterment of myself.
2 years.
Yes, sir, 23 years.
Them that's been there over 25 years? That's had good behavior?
I don't think he's talking.
Okay.
He's listening, but he's asking questions. Go ahead with your statement. Go ahead with your statement.
Okay.
I think they're listening to you.
All right. And like again, I said, I just want to thank you for the opportunity. And I think I know for a fact I owe my victim and their families an apology for what happened and what I did. And I'm honest and true, very remorseful, very sorry for the things that happened to him, and just honestly, truly sorry. I just want to thank you and the board for giving me this opportunity, and regardless of whatever the outcome is, I still thank you and appreciate you.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, the board will be voting. Mr. Tony Marabella will be starting off the voting. This case was assigned to him.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Mitchell, no one can question how horrible your crime was and what you did to those two young girls. They will suffer probably for the rest of their lives. There is law enforcement opposition. There's victim opposition. You have been very straightforward and very honest with me. As the warden has pointed out, you came in preparing to get out. You came in preparing to better yourself. You took most of these classes before you even knew you had an opportunity to get paroled. You've excelled in those programs. You've taken some good programs. The substance abuse programs you've taken, you've indicated AA is the way you want to lead your life. The sex offender treatment, you're facilitating other people now having taken that program. You've kind of gotten perhaps to the heart of maybe what your problem was that caused, or at least helped cause what you did back then. You've accepted responsibility for that. You've done a good job while you've been there. And you are getting out regardless of what happens today in the next couple of years. But based upon what you've accomplished, based upon who you are today, based upon this interview today, my vote today is going to be to grant your parole with the following conditions. Number one, you need to come up with an appropriate, approved residential plan that meets the sex offender registration and requirements. I want you to get a substance abuse evaluation and 3 AA meetings per week. And I also want you to report to your parole officer weekly for the first 60 days once you get out. That would be my, and you have to, of course, follow all of the registration and notification requirements of a sex offender. Mr. Chairman, that's my vote.
Mr. Mitchell, it was a pleasure listening to you today. We've had some pretty bad cases today and pretty discouraging day in a lot of respects, but it's nice to finish on a high note. You have done exceptionally well. You have an excellent disciplinary record. You have outstanding programs, and you have probably the best words of praise I've heard from a warden about any inmate since I've been on the board. And I think that you have done the hard work necessary to prepare yourself for release. And so my vote today is to grant with the same conditions as Mr. Marabella. And I wish you the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
You know, at this time, I tell you what, you need to thank Warden Goodwin there for the good comments that he gave you. Today, I'm voting because of positive comments from the warden and some of the positive things you've done since you've been incarcerated. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised. A lot of these people, they won't do anything unless you ask them. But you didn't even know that this date was coming up and you wouldn't get credits for some of these things, and you went ahead and done it. And I commend you for it. Let me tell you something. I can tell you all day long, but you know what you got to do when you get out. Keep your nose clean. Today, you've been granted. Thank you.